Ozonics Killerwinds podcast back again. We got the nuke. We got me. Let's do this. What are we talking about? We are talking about New Mexico elk hunting recap.
Yep.
Last week we were just getting there.
Mm-hmm.
We did a podcast with Ben and you and me. We just got to the lodge getting all set up. It was actually the day before the hunt started.
Yep.
And we were really excited, you know, the anticipation and just the excitement of the whole thing. One thing I think that we didn't talk about that was one thing, especially towards the beginning of the hunt. And I think I noticed this from Scott especially, you know, it's a lot to get everybody together.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, I mean, for Scott to pull away from his dental practice is a real trick. For Buddy to pull away from what he does with the union day to day,
yeah,
it's a lot. It's a lot for us to pull away, you know, from what we've got for daily responsibilities here.
Mm-hmm.
And then to work out Ben's schedule and everything. It's just a lot.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it, but I hadn't been face to face with Buddy and Scott for 2 years.
Right.
Last time I was face to face with him, we were in Montana.
Yep.
That is so crazy.
Yeah, that is wild.
And so, yeah, it's a lot to get everybody in the same place. And so when you get everybody in the same place, it's pretty exciting. And
yeah,
it's usually for something like this. So we were really excited to see how the hunt will play out.
Yeah, for sure.
So we'll do the long-winded version and we'll do the short-winded version.
Mm-hmm.
The short-winded version is we didn't get any elk.
Yeah.
Didn't get any elk. But that was, it wasn't from a lack of trying.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. I'll tell you the theme from the trip right off the bat was not as much the weather during the hunt. It was the weather that led up to the hunt.
Yeah, throughout the summer.
Yep. Here to come to find out, New Mexico and Arizona, it sounded like too, had been in a drought.
Right.
This terrible, terrible drought this year where they just were just hurting for rain. Aaron, the outfitter, Aaron Bauer, we'll talk a lot about him as we get going here. He had talked about that. Interestingly, where we were in Unit 15. In Unit 15, everywhere we went, everything was just lush green.
Yeah.
It was really green, right? I mean, everywhere you went, it was like there was just a nice little, you could just see a skim of nice green, just lush grass coming up. But he had talked about that just all really popped in the last like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
They didn't have that in May, June, July, August. It was a struggle.
Mm-hmm.
And so what we had heard before the hunt started, actually Ben had a friend that was hunting in New Mexico, not too far from where we were, was that the elk looked in really, really rough shape.
Yeah.
And I was really interested to see that. And I think we definitely saw elk that looked like they were in rough shape.
Yeah, no doubt.
And so I think what we saw was elk that had been stressed from a drought, very little water, very little to eat, and so the elk were very thin.
Mm-hmm.
And what happens when elk get stressed in that way is some cows just won't come into estrus.
Yeah.
If cows aren't coming into estrus, then there is no rut.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really what we experienced. You could hear the elk bugling at night. They were carrying on all night. We talked about before the trip, oh man, we've got this full moon. It should be just killer. They'll be cranking. The problem is it just didn't seem like the cows were in.
Yeah.
You heard Aaron, the main outfitter, and the guide. You heard Dave talk about it. They had just never experienced anything like that.
Yeah.
Where it was September 20th, 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 24th. It's the peak of what would be normally the elk rut.
Yeah.
And they're just not rutting.
Yeah.
We would go out in the morning, and there were some mornings we didn't even see an elk in an area where there should definitely be elk running around.
Yeah. Yeah.
You weren't hearing a single bull bugling for a couple days. Just was like a struggle.
Yeah.
We go out in the morning, wouldn't hear a bugle. Go out that evening, wouldn't hear a bugle, or wouldn't hear anything in the evening. Go out by the next morning, wouldn't hear anything.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to all these different areas.
Yeah.
It was just a real struggle.
Yeah.
And again, when you don't have elk sounding off, and there's very little water around because you think, oh, okay, if they're not sound enough, then we'll just set water because it's been really dry, so the water that's there would be really good. But then we were having a hard time even finding the water.
Yeah.
Do you follow?
And if we did find water, all the elk were hitting them at night, not in daylight.
Exactly. So then, okay, let's find water. Let's sit on the water. We found a water. Scott and Aaron and I found a water that was like, oh man, this is awesome. Like this is it. They're wallowing all over it. Just looked like chocolate pudding. You know what I mean? Here we go. Sat there for the rest of that day and all day the next day, didn't have a single elk come in.
Yeah.
And so it just made it a real struggle. You know, you really felt for Aaron and Dave because they were having to try to just reinvent the wheel on what they were doing, go into their absolutely money spots, and there just weren't elk there. So it was making it really, really tricky.
Yeah, for sure.
But like you said, the interesting thing is that once we got there, it rained every day.
Yeah, it seriously rained every day.
But that was even the crazy thing. We were seeing water fill up in little holes in an afternoon.
Yeah.
Like that spot that we found, we went in there the next day and you could tell, you know what it's like, it rains really hard and it just washes all out. Everything looks just real smooth, the dirt. You could see that it would just wash down these hills and fill in these little holes.
Yeah.
And so, and it was crazy because it was green when we were there, but it had been so dry leading up to it.
Yeah.
And we saw elk that looked really thin. You know, they just didn't look good.
Yep.
And so it made it really, really tricky.
Yeah, for sure.
Aaron and Dave were talking about other outfitters and guides that they know that were hunting across Arizona, across New Mexico, outfitters that have a lot of hunters in camp because the thing to talk about as well with New Mexico is they have their archery season has like a first split and a second split. And, you know, guys, you either pick one or the other usually. So, well, yeah, not usually you do, you know? And so guys that were hunting the first split and guides that were out there and outfitters that had a lot of guys in on the first split had 10, 15 guys in camp, killed one bull.
Yeah, exactly.
One.
Yeah.
In the Gila in New Mexico. And then during the second split, same thing, had 10, 15 hunters, killed one bull, had hunters that were opting to shoot a cow because they just wanted to take home, they really wanted elk meat.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, we actually Scott and Aaron and I ran into two other hunters on the last day, which it was kind of like a little bit of a gut punch because you never want to just call yourselves into another hunter. Like, okay, well, that's awesome. We look kind of silly. But they thought the same thing, you know, so we're like, okay, we just sat and stood and talked for a bit. They talked about a meat processor in that area that a hunter had taken elk in there to get it all processed up. And they said, oh yeah, man, you should be pretty happy. Usually by this time we've got 50, 60 elk, you know, that we've got to cut up right now. And he said, we've had 16 for the whole season. That's all they had.
Wild.
So it was definitely a really, really weird year for the Gila.
For sure.
You heard repeatedly everybody saying, I've never experienced it like this before. And, you know, that's the thing. You've heard me joke about this before. You can't control the weather and you can't control the animals.
Yep, we talked about it in the podcast before, and that played out.
Yeah. And it's kind of funny because it was even bigger than that. You can't control the weather, you can't control the animals, and you can't control the weather leading up to it.
Yeah.
And nobody would have saw that coming.
Exactly.
You know, because you thought, oh, even with it being dry, they're still going to rut.
Yeah.
Like the elk rut's going to happen.
Still going to do their thing.
And I think the elk rut did happen.
Yeah.
It just happened at night, right?
For sure.
These elk had kind of been conditioned to, wow, it has been tough sledding. They're kind of in this nightly routine, and it wasn't enough to get them to kind of switch back over to the day.
Yeah.
It's not that we didn't hear elk bugling, not that we didn't see bulls kind of chasing cows and acting like it was time to, you know, ready to rock and roll.
Yeah.
But it just wasn't what we expected.
Yeah.
Made it really tough hunting.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, there was a couple of times where I went with the guides, and we talked a lot about that, just how different it is this year. One of the spots, we had one bull bugling kind of down in this little bowl, and he was telling me, he's like, yeah, normally there's minimum 5 bulls in here just bugling their heads off, and the tough decision is which one do you want to go chase.
Yep.
It's just crazy.
Well, yeah, and you heard Aaron talk a lot about that one day that you and Aaron went and sat together, Aaron, you and me and Scott went out.
Yep.
And, you know, and it was really cool. It was a really good idea on Scott's part. He's like, you know, it'd be awesome if we got ourselves in if we're going to be in a blind setup, he's like, I'd really like to have Nick sit. I'm like, heck yeah, that'd be great. Well, that was the epitome of that.
Yeah.
It was a cool, awesome right on a 2-track on the side-by-side way up to the top of this mountain. And then we found this really deep cut, and there was an awesome little water there. It's like, okay, let's set this. So we went back in there, got the blind all set up. Nick and Scott sat, and Aaron and I are driving out, and Aaron and I were just talking, chit-chatting, and he talked about that. He got there for the second split like 4 or 5 days early, and he said, he goes, usually when I'm here this early, he goes, I'm scouting out bulls, and I've got 2 mature bulls that I'm just basically babysitting.
Yeah.
And when he says mature bulls in the Gila, you're talking 350 to 370.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that's a mature bull, right? You're not shooting 330s if you can help it. Trying to shoot big bulls.
Yeah.
So usually I've got a couple that I've got tracked down that we're just watching, babysitting until we get hunters. And it's like, all right, man, let's go. And he goes, yeah, I just
never found them.
He's like, dude, I'm looking.
Yeah.
And he's like, I've looked everywhere. I mean, if you want to see something funny, you should see that guy's onyx.
Yeah, it's insane.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
It's just like dots everywhere.
Yeah.
And so he's like, yeah, man, I'm looking. He's like, I went to my honey holes. I went to everywhere that I would think to go. They even got really creative on how they were trying to find water, looking at, and I won't give away his secrets, but just things that I was like, wow, that was a good idea. I never even thought about that.
Yeah.
And so they looked.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, man, we just can't find them. And so it made it really, really tricky.
Yeah. Definitely really tricky. But
and so that was kind of interesting how it kind of played out. I think initially we thought, okay, let's go out and let's get out in the morning. They will have been bugling during the night, and let's try to figure out where they want to go to bed. Let's get out there. Let's try to find a bull or a cow. Let's make a move. Find a group of cows with a bull or 2. Let's make a move. And let's just get on them, get close to them, and then try to, as they work toward their bedding, hopefully we can get that bull to kind of come towards us.
Yeah.
We couldn't get that to play out in any way, shape, or form.
No.
We couldn't even hardly find the elk at the beginning. Day 1, day 2, into day 3.
Yeah.
It was just really tough sledding.
Yeah.
We got rain off and on in day 1, day 2, day 3, which were like, okay. And I kind of said the whole time, I'm like, day 4 is going to be the day. That was my prediction. Monday's going to be our day. Monday's going to be our day. And Monday was kind of tough sledding.
Yeah.
A little bit better. And then we kind of just started kind of, and then you were hearing the bulls bugle, and it's like, okay, here we go. Come on, guys. Like, and at some point, what I've experienced elk hunting is, especially when you have a chance, an opportunity to hunt the whole season, you're kind of like, okay, let's go. Come on. And then all of a sudden it just snaps.
Yeah.
And it just turns on, and it's just absolute pandemonium. We just kept waiting for that kind of tomorrow. Felt like there was a lot of people waiting for that tomorrow all season.
Yeah.
And Aaron hit the nail on the head. It really felt like elk were doing what they do on September 2nd, on September 20th.
Right.
It's like they just felt behind. They just felt like it just didn't seem like it was going. Then we got to day 5, and we finally got on a couple in the morning.
Yep.
We actually got on the evening of day 4. So we're riding in the side-by-side, and we're heading out into this area, and all of a sudden, Aaron stops and looks out, and he's like, there's elk right there. So we're glassing. Well, you could see a bull bedded underneath this shade, just a tree. Just see the one, I think you'd see his left side. It's like, okay, jackpot, here we go. We had the wind real good. It was kind of blowing off of like our left to right, and it was kind of going a little bit more straight to the right, but it's like, okay, that'll be good. We can kind of work around and kind of get in behind him. And so we worked in, and again, never bugled one time, but we knew they were there, and there was a whole pile of cows. And it's so hard because it's funny when you, in those situations, I feel like I think about being like a mountain lion. Mountain lions don't like to try to stalk up on a herd of cows with a bunch of bulls. Why? Because there's not 2 eyes, there's 40 eyes.
Yeah.
There's not 2 ears, there's 40 ears. There's not two noses, there's 40 noses. Does that make sense? Like, well, there would be 40 noses with 20 cows. That would be weird. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. There's not 2 noses, there's 20 noses. Yeah. Elk have 2 noses. No. But there's a lot. It's just more. So like a lot of these predators, they like try to get one by itself. There's just less to deal with. Well, we're sitting here trying with 3 people, trying to stalk up on these elk, trying to move in on them, going tree to tree, trying to make cover, checking the wind. We've got our ozonics and the kinetic packs rocking. It's a losing proposition for the fact that you feel comfortable knowing that the ozone's going to help you, but the reality is they can just catch you movement-wise, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's just so hard with all these elk. And Aaron did a great job. I mean, just really kind of putting us in the right position and all of us trying to stay in line. But you still only know what you know. And you don't know exactly where they are, and you're watching, you're looking all around. And then finally we got right up on them. And we're getting up on them, and we're kind of hoping that we're kind of angling to the right because we kind of feel like they've got to be wanting to go this way. So we want to try to, and with what the wind's doing, as we did that, we look over and there's a cow right there at like 100, not even that.
Yeah.
And she's got us pegged. Like the definition of having us just pegged, right? She's just like, bunk. She's looking right at us. And of course, right when that happens, just like it always does, the wind completely switches. All of a sudden, instead of kind of blowing like this way, it's blowing like this way. Mm-hmm. You're like, oh, come on. So we're all sitting there. We've got the Ozonics HR600s ripping, and it's going right at her, and we're all just like froze, I always joke about with people like elk are like the movie Jurassic Park. They're like T-Rexes. Mm-hmm. You see on the Jurassic Park movies, like always say, oh, just freeze, don't move. Yeah. And that T-Rex comes right up to him and just can't see him, and then they walks off. That's elk. If you don't move, they have a hard time, you know what I mean? But still, their nose doesn't lie. And you could see her lifting her nose. She's lifting, she's staring, and she'd lift her nose, and she couldn't figure it out. Yeah. So I stood there for 5 minutes. Mm-hmm. I'm just sitting there trying to film and just trying not to move a muscle. And finally, she just kind of walked off, and Scott got out his little windicator. You see it blowing right at him. It was really funny to get to see Aaron. Yeah, I'm thinking Adam Gomez.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, Aaron looks at he's looking at Scott and he's like, dude, that's insane.
Yeah.
So that was a really, really cool thing to get to see that work. But again, we were just trying to really stalk up on them, you know what I mean? And then we finally got up on them. We had a little raghorn at like 95 or whatever it was, and it wasn't the bull to shoot. Yeah. And it was cool to see them all kind of work off. But then finally on day 5, we got into them a little bit more, you know what I mean? Had them bugling a bit, and had a bull that definitely, was a bull that we would try to shoot, a shooter bull, for that type of hunt that it was how it was all playing out. Mm-hmm. Was moving cows, and we worked up. And like I said, Aaron had us all set up really good, was cow calling, and that bull, you could hear him screaming. And it's like a lot of times you can hear him, you can't see him. Yeah. They could be 15 yards away. It's like, how can you not see a bull at 15 yards? Man, they just find a way to just keep something between you and them, just to, it's just bizarre. Yeah. So we got right up on them and wouldn't let us, and then kept moving up, and it just didn't work out.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, it was a really cool trip.
Yeah, it was really fun. I mean, I was really shocked by what the country looked like there. I didn't expect it to be so mountainous, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's pretty rugged.
Yeah,
it's cool. Interesting because it's like it's rolling in spots where it's like these big flats, and it's like just rolling, deep cuts and types of things, and then other spots it's like straight up, straight down.
Yeah, it was cool. It was really cool. Yeah, and then I went and sat with the guides a couple times. Filmed one pretty nice bull bugling his head off, which was pretty sweet. And then actually kind of interesting, I filmed 2 different cows in 2 totally different areas that had collars and ear tags on. Yeah. Which was really cool to see.
And we saw actually one of the cows when we had that downwind encounter was in that area. Yeah. It had to, and maybe it was a different cow, but we had seen a cow in that area with a collar and an ear tag, and that was in that same area.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So that was kind of cool, kind of neat to see. We were playing around with, we said this last time that we got a new camera, and it has 8K on it. Yeah. And it was awesome. It's way far away, but you could just zoom right up in on it and really see what it is and stuff. It was cool. It was really cool.
We're on that Sony A1 with a 600 millimeter prime with 8K video.
Yeah.
Jackpot.
Yeah.
You could literally zoom up on from, that was a half mile or more away.
Yeah, it was quite a ways away.
Yeah, and then you're zooming up where you just see just her head. Yeah. It's pretty incredible. But
and it's cool too because I was actually I was showing my parents the footage yesterday and had it at 200 and then brought it to 6.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's not a prime. It's a 2 to 6. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, it's all right. But it was cool because like at 200, it's like really vast. You can see a bunch of stuff. You can see mountains in the background. Yep. And then you put it into all the way to 600, and it's just like right on them. It's pretty cool.
But yeah, like I said, I was hunting with Scott, and our guide was Aaron, and then Buddy was getting videoed by Ben, and they were hunting with a guy named Dave. Mm-hmm. And, we we kind of had our hunts were very similar in the fact we were experiencing the same type of stuff on how the elk were acting. But our hunts were very different in kind of the approach. Like I said, just the way it worked out, it was funny because I know it was hard on Aaron because Aaron's not like get in the side-by-side and cover country. He's like, let's get out and let's walk 100 miles, you know what I mean? And find them. Yeah. But it just worked out for us to be in the side-by-side and really cover some ground and then try to get up on high spots and glass and listen and cover some ground. Yeah. The way Dave and Ben and Buddy did it is they hoofed it. They covered a lot of country on foot. They went on all day, just hikes, you know what I mean? Just covering ground, or would drive up to the top of the mountain and then hike their way back down towards the trailhead. Yeah. And they covered a lot of country. Yeah. And like I said, got on elk, but just couldn't get it to come together. You know what I mean? And again, when you're in the Gila and you're in unit 15, you're looking for mature bulls. And so there was bulls earlier in the week that were 260, 280 class bulls. Like, we're interested in something. Put another 100 inches on it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so it just didn't work out. And then, like I said, Buddy, just by kind of bad luck, twisted his ankle real bad. Yep. And like kind of hurt his shin. Yeah. And I mean, he is tough. Yeah. Because I mean, they twisted it way up there, and then they had to still walk miles to get back out.
Yeah, like 2.5 miles, I think. Or
and he still he just gritted his teeth and did it. Yeah. And got out of there, and they did a little bit of what we did too. They tried to sit in a ground blind all the great hole that we found. Yep. You and Scott sat in it one afternoon, and then they tried to sit there the whole next day. Yeah. And again, it was hot, and it's like, okay, well, maybe we'll get lucky. They just didn't work in there. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, like I said, I think I know Scott and Aaron and I talked a lot about this, and you and I talked about this with Ben too. One of the best parts about the trip, no matter how it works out, obviously you want to try to harvest animals, right? You're going on hunts like this, and it's fun to be there, and you want to try to shoot something. But the part that, that at the end, how do I say this? It's hard being away from family. It's hard being away from everything that we all have going on. Like I said, Aaron's married, got kids. Scott's married, got kids. Buddy's married, got kids. We've all got things going on. We all got loved ones that we have to sacrifice to be away from. But at a certain point at the end of the hunt, there's a little bit of you that's just like, man, I'm going to miss this.
Yeah, for sure.
It feels a little hard to leave.
Yeah, no doubt.
And I think what that is wrapped in is the camaraderie of getting to be around like-minded individuals and getting to share experiences. And all of a sudden you're like, man, dude, like Aaron and I think him and I could be friends. Yeah, no doubt. You know what I mean? Like, you're like, man. And you know me. I'm gold. I don't need no more friends. Yeah, yeah. You know what I mean? Like, and we were joking, if your cell phone's if your number's not my cell phone, we're probably not going to get hold of each other. You're not slipping into my DMs. We were joking with Scott, like, Scott's like, what are DMs? It's like if I'm a cell phone number type guy. You got my cell phone number, we're golden. If we don't, then probably not associated. Yeah. But like I said, this Aaron Bauer was the outfitter. His outfitting business is called Spot and Stalk Outfitters. Yeah. And it was really cool to get to know him. Yeah. Talk about a heck of a dude.
Yeah, seriously.
I mean, first off, a very, very accomplished hunter. Yeah. Very, very skilled hunter. Knew what he was doing. Had hunted the Gila, hunted New Mexico his whole life. Yeah. Knew the country. He knew what was going on. Yeah, gosh, to hear him tell stories about some of the bulls that he had, harvested, and just some of the guiding stories that he had was really, really something. Yeah. But like you said, he not only does New Mexico elk hunting, he also does New Mexico antelope hunting. Yep. He actually guided on the muzzleloader world record. Big old joker. I want to say it was I thought he said 94 inches. Yeah. It was something like that. It was just insane. Yeah. Just incredibly big. And when I was in Colorado, Southern Colorado was a great area for antelope. We killed a couple Boone and Crockett antelope, which is like 82. That's pretty big. Yeah. You're like, heck yeah, I shot an 82. But geez, he's talking about 85, 87, 89, 90. That's a whole nother level. Yeah. That's a whole nother level. Yep. And he's killing antelope in that higher caliber consistently. He's killing some big ones. Yeah. And guys go there, they're looking, some guys just want to kill an antelope. Yeah. But a lot of guys go in there, they're like, hey man,
I want to get a big one.
I want to shoot a giant. Yeah. I mean, antelope that look like these have like baseball bats on their heads.
Seriously.
It doesn't even seem real. Yeah. But, and then also he does oryx hunts in Texas. Man, he talked a lot about oryx.
Oryx.
Yeah, and if you don't know what an oryx is, and a lot of people don't, it's this animal that's got these big pointy horns. They don't really like swoop back like an ibex or something. They just kind of just go straight up and back at like a slant.
Yep.
They're black horns, and he's got like a real big point. Look like if you got close to one of those things, you would get shish kebabbed.
Yeah, you'd be in trouble.
Yeah. But yeah, he talked a lot about his oryx hunts. He does other types of exotic hunts in Texas. He's got different ranches that he hunts on there.
Aoudad. He talked a lot about aoudad with me.
That's the other thing. Yeah. He slays aoudad too.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. He takes a lot of aoudad hunters.
Yeah, he does.
I think his aoudad hunts, he said, are like 3 or 4 day hunts.
I think 3.
Yeah. We actually talked. I actually got to do an aoudad hunt in Texas, not near where he is, but and he talked about the accommodations of these aoudad hunts. Man, he was showing some pictures. It's like, wow.
Yeah.
Interestingly, one thing I didn't know about aoudad is I've always so I did an aoudad hunt, and I was talking to him about how like they're called Barbary sheep originally, right? And the thing way back in the day they used to hunt them was Barbary lions. Okay.
Oh.
So now they've transplanted them into Texas and New Mexico and all these places, and they've really flourished. But interestingly, aoudad, from what it sounds like, taste horrible.
Yeah, that's what he was telling me too.
So much to the point that when they shoot an aoudad and they cape it out and do everything, and you know, whether they skull cap it or they cape out the head and everything, and they take the hide, whether it's a full body or a shoulder or whatever, and they leave it there, not even the vultures will touch it.
Yeah.
He said they just rot.
Yeah.
Like no animal, coyotes, nothing. They won't even peck at it.
Yeah.
They just leave it alone.
Yeah.
It just
It's so crazy to think about that.
Yeah. He said it's just really, really terrible, tough, terrible to eat.
Wild.
Yeah. So I thought that was kind of bizarre.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that when he was telling me that.
But he shoots some whopper aoudad.
Oh, yeah.
Just big old sweepers, like holy guacamole.
Giant whitetails, too.
His axis deer, he talked a lot about axis deer. Man, some of those axis deer, he does fallow deer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he does a little bit of everything. Basically, if you're wanting to do a hunt in Texas or New Mexico for just
anything,
like find it. Like and he can line it out for you.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, it was pretty cool to hear him talk about it. Even like when we were there, I mean, we started traveling back on that day, and we were traveling back and then trying to fly him home and then drive home, and then he was like, yeah, I'm driving home this afternoon. I'll be home with family tonight, and then I got antelope hunters tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly.
Tomorrow afternoon. It's like, geez, man. I mean, he goes.
Oh, yeah.
You talk about a hardworking dude.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, he just nonstop.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what, the other thing that was really, really awesome about the trip, this means nothing to nothing, but, and you can say this with certainty, I have never met another guy that quotes movies as much as me.
Yeah, and I didn't get it because I'm like, dude, how does this guy literally, he hunts every day of the year pretty much. Like, how does he have time to know all these movies?
I think but him and I had a lot in common. It sounds like that's what kind of him and his wife do for as like a kind of a quality time thing. They like to watch shows or movies or whatever it might be. And that's the way Tatum and I are too. We'll just sit down and watch a movie or something.
Yeah.
But also, we were quoting a lot of movies like from our childhood, like Tommy Boy, and then we got into Anchorman and Step Brothers, and it just really went downhill from there. Yeah. But yeah, we were doing a lot of movie quoting.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Almost too much.
Well, see, the funny thing is I think that you think that I quote movies too much. Well, then Aaron started quoting movies, and then I started quoting them, and then he was like, and then I think somehow we said to each other, he's like, I've never met anybody that likes to quote movies. And I'm like, well, I'm your guy. So then we really poured it on. And Nick just sat there rolling his eyes at us the whole time.
No, it was a good time. A lot of laughter on this trip for sure. It was a really good time.
Yeah, no, it was super good. Yeah. And there was actually 2 other hunters in camp as well.
Yep.
So that was pretty cool. And their guide, Weldon, you could tell that he probably had more hunting, elk hunting experience than all of us combined.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, seriously.
You could tell he knew what he was doing, and they were having a tough time too. Like I said, he was saying the same things that Aaron and Dave were saying, just really, really tough hunting. And like I said, I didn't get to spend a ton of time with Dave except for kind of at night. But like I said, Buddy and Ben sounded like they were just cutting up, having a great old time. And Dave was super cool.
Yeah. Super nice guy. And I got to spend one night with him. we went and dropped, or no, he went and dropped Buddy and Ben off, came back, grabbed me, and then we drove around. He took me to some spots where I could film some stuff, and we actually, that's where we got into that bull. So it was a lot of fun. It was cool to spend time with him too.
Well, I feel like the theme, the word that comes to mind with Aaron, Dave, and Weldon across the board is just passion.
Yeah,
you can tell that they're really passionate about it.
Yep.
And I think that's really important.
Yeah.
Because I'm telling you, dude, I've been on guided hunts and I've been around outfitters and things like this. Like I said, I used to be a videographer, and I'm not with no disclaimer. I'm not trying to brag. I'm just saying. Mm-hmm. But sometimes you go on these things and you're like, man, this guy does not want to be here.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, maybe he's a very skilled hunter, but his effort is at like a -5.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like the passion is gone.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
It's like, you know, it's not, the fire isn't burning. You could tell these guys were here and they were doing it because they were very passionate about it. They wanted to get elk just as bad as we did.
Yeah. No,
You know?
Yep.
And so, it was really, really cool. They were awesome dudes. Like I said, I know it's a shameless plug, but I don't care. If you're looking to do an awesome hunt, you're looking to do something in Texas, you're looking to try to do a New Mexico elk hunt, I would seriously take a gander and look at Aaron Bauer, Spot and Stock Outfitters.
Yeah.
You know, I've said this before on these. We talk about this a lot when it comes to guided hunts, how to be a good client on a guided hunt or what to look for in a guided outfitter. Aaron is what you're looking for.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. I know that I'm the type of person that what means the most to me is a reference.
Mm-hmm.
If I know somebody that's been with him or her and has had a good experience, that means more than anything that I could tell you. And I'm telling you that this is the reference you're looking for.
Yeah.
He's the guy that you would want to go with.
For sure.
The other thing that I will say is if you're a guy that's been talking about maybe trying to work out going to New Mexico elk hunting, and obviously New Mexico is a lottery system. Everybody puts in for the draw or the lottery, and just people get drawn. It's a everybody gets the fair shake every single year.
Yeah.
But there's also landowner tags, right? Let's say that you were like, you know what, I want to do a hunt in New Mexico. Next year would be the year to work it out.
Yeah.
Because mark my words, they are going to have a banner year
Yeah.
in New Mexico, especially in the Gila, in Unit 15, 16, A, B, C, D, E, name the alphabet.
Yeah.
Those units are going to have banner year next year.
Yeah.
With a caveat, if there's not a once every 30 or 40 year drought like there was this year, which I would think there wouldn't be, I would put money on the table that there are going to be some absolute cranks shot next year.
Oh, yeah.
Because the 360 to 380 class bull did not get shot this year. And guess what he's going to be next year? When he has enough water to grow the rack that he should have grown this year, guess what he's going to be? He ain't going to be 360, 380. He's going to be 380 to 400.
Yeah.
There's going to be some absolute slobbers killed next year.
For sure.
If you're looking to do a New Mexico elk hunt and you've been like, oh, I don't know when to go, next year's the year to go. Go next year.
Yeah.
Put in for the draw. If you can't get it, talk to a guy like Aaron, get a landowner tag. Next year's going to be the year because there's going to be some absolute cranks.
Yeah, for sure.
If you held a gun to my head and said, when should I go? Do the second split. Don't do the early split. Do the second split. Get yourself in one of those units down there, in the Gila especially, and be ready to rock because there's going to be some absolute giants.
For sure.
Giants killed.
No doubt. We talked about that a lot during
I'm
the
telling you.
trip.
Well, and when we ran into those two other hunters, they had said that they had talked to outfitters and guides, and what they were experiencing is they're like, you know, they can, even what we were saying was like, golly, we're here. How can we not see a bull like? There's got to be a bull like out there somewhere, right?
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. When there's a drought, they're not getting enough water and they're not getting enough food. Well, guess what gets affected? Antler growth.
Yeah, exactly.
So what they had talked about, they're like, listen, the guides at outfitters that they had talked to, they're like, listen, what the bulls that we're seeing, they could be the 370 class bull.
They just didn't grow it.
They didn't grow it. They're 320.
Yeah.
The 350 bull didn't grow it. He's 300.
Mm-hmm.
The 340 bull didn't grow it. He's 280.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it can affect them that much. Because like that big bull that we saw on the 5th day that morning.
Yeah. That
Look at the
5
video.
by 5.
He looks big.
Yeah.
Big bodied sucker. You're like, I mean, I remember saying, I'm like, gosh, look at his body. Looks big body. He's like, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
He's like, doesn't have the rack though. I'm like, yeah. But I'm like, where are they? Nobody was seeing them. Well, that's because they didn't grow it.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Next year, all those bulls are a year older and they get food and water like they're supposed to. You better watch out.
Yeah. No, that's
I'm
awesome.
telling you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be just absolutely dynamite.
Right, for sure.
But yeah, like I said, that was the part that was the most rewarding part of all, is getting to meet awesome dudes like that,
Yep.
getting to spend time together and cut it up and laugh. And honestly, getting to spend time with Scott and Buddy is something that feels kind of few and far between. So getting to have some time with them and just get to have a good time and talk and laugh, it was really, really fun.
Yeah, it was. It was a great time.
And hearing, like I said, hearing bulls bugle like we did, and man, those couple nights, the stars, some of the this night lapses that we got were just unbelievable just to see. I mean, just the Milky Way, just bright as all get out.
Yeah,
was awesome. And like you said, it's a magical place.
it's super beautiful down there.
Even when we left, we drive through Reserve, we drive on that highway, we're going east, and all of a sudden you just kind of feel it. You're like, I said to you guys, I said, well, we're out of it.
Yeah, exactly.
And you just feel
Just
like this
flattens right out.
Yeah, this magical entrance exit that you just go through this little bubble, and then you're like kind of looking back, you're like, well, this isn't the same country we were in.
Yeah.
It's just different.
Yeah, it gets way different really quick.
Yeah.
But
And the drive down was pretty. I kind of took a more of a scenic route to kind of, especially because you'd never seen that area.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, this will be cool.
Yeah.
That was beautiful.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
that was awesome.
I guess we did talk about our
Sweatshirts and stuff.
our awesome sweatshirts. Who are those?
Yep.
Which, again, exactly what I said was going to happen happened. Mine has been confiscated. But
Gone.
it's gone. My wife's got it now. So it no longer is in my possession.
Yeah.
But
But the final day our last travel day, we left the lodge by like 8, got to the airport around noon, flew to Denver, which that was a quick turnaround. We almost missed that flight.
well, and it was funny because every once in a while when you're on flight, you hear that the stewardess will get on there and say, hey, some of the passengers have tight connections. If you don't have a tight connection, please stay seated and let the people stand up that do. 3/4 of the plane stood up.
Yeah,
you could tell.
exactly, yeah.
And there was a couple in front of us. The wife was really freaking out.
Yeah.
And the husband's like, babe, honey, it's fine. Like, he's like trying to talk to her. And then he finally he's like, honey, all these other people, they all have tight connections too. And we're all like nodding our heads.
Yep.
And he goes, yeah, see? And I go, it's fine. And so we're all like kind of racing off the plane. Luckily, we were only a few gates.
Yeah, we weren't far.
Like, we were like a couple hundred yards
Yeah,
down. We
it
kind of
wasn't
just,
bad.
yeah, we just double timed it, made it
yeah.
fine.
Yeah. But then get back to Minneapolis, get a shuttle to where the truck was, and Cole's truck wouldn't start.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, what a cluster,
Yeah.
man. And it was funny because there was like a sixth sense that my truck wasn't going to start.
I had it so bad. I don't know why. But Cole's like, we get out of the truck. Cole's like, I'm going to run grab my truck. You all know the stuff. Let's load it in. Let's get out of here.
Let's get on the move. Because it was 9:45.
9:45-ish.
Yeah.
We still had a 2.5 hour drive ahead of us. I'm like, all right, yep, you go do that. I'll get everything ready. I'll be sitting right here. And I'm sitting there waiting for a little bit. And like, it was like, gosh, he should be here. And I'm like, his truck didn't start. I just know his truck didn't start. There's something weird is going on. Something's happening. He like, his truck won't unlock. Something's happening. Wait a little bit longer. I'm like, okay, yeah, something's definitely going on. And then Cole comes walking back. He's like, yeah, my truck was. I'm like, oh no.
So then it's, it's operation problem solve, critical think here. What do we
Figure it
do?
out.
What do we do? What do we do? So initially I'm like, okay, and I don't know, felt really bad to like ask somebody at 10 to 10 at night,
Yeah.
in a dark parking lot, can you help me jump my truck? And I look like a homeless person. So it's like, and I already get dirty looks. So I'm like, okay, this is not going to work. So we go inside. We're staying this like Embassy Suites. The gal at the till was really nice.
Yeah,
She goes, I actually have a battery pack. We're like,
Yeah.
oh, that would be huge.
Yeah.
She goes and gets it. It was already most of the way dead.
Yeah, because she just jumped somebody the day before or
She
something.
goes, I keep it in my car because this happens a lot. I'm like, oh. And she's like, go there, plug it in. Won't even make it click. It's like, awesome. So then I'm like, really, and your dad and mom and dad are like 45 minutes away and it's 10 o'clock at night. And it's like, ugh.
Yeah.
So we're trying to figure out what to do. So then I don't know why. I was like, you know what? Why don't I just buy a new battery? Like that was like kind of that finally kind of came to that thought. So we Uber to a Walmart, buy a battery, buy a couple wrenches. Cause of course I took my socket wrench set out of my truck like a dingo bat. Get a ride back to the airport hotel parking lot, and switch out the battery. Luckily, and like I said, trying to be optimistic, it wasn't the middle of the winter.
Yeah,
it
exactly.
wasn't snowing. It wasn't freezing, and it wasn't raining.
Yeah.
It was 70 degrees and mild out. No bugs. I was like, I guess it could be worse.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We could be like way out in the middle of nowhere. We're in civilization. Let's just try not to. It was still just like, I think I had like one good meltdown during that. Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Wow.
I did one of those Nick punch the tree things where I thought if I punched the battery, that would help it.
Wake it up or something.
Yeah, it would like maybe help it jostle loose, and it didn't. It just hurt my hand. But yeah, we got the battery out, got the battery in, and off we went. But it was a 2:30 hit the front door.
It was
It was a late night.
just a head bobber.
And I do really good till I don't.
Yeah, you hit a point where all of a sudden like you're just up talking, and then I'll say a sentence, and you're just like, I'm like, okay, he's getting tired.
And my legs start to get jumpy.
Yeah.
You said that too. You're like, oh, I can tell when you get tired because your legs get jumpy.
Yeah.
So the last little bit, I had to have Nick drive, and he did a good job. Got us
her
back.
home. Yep.
And then I had to I just rolled down the windows and blared the music after I dropped you off. Because I got another 10 minutes after I dropped Nick off.
Yeah.
Drive out in the country, and I was like, okay, gotta stay awake.
Yeah.
So I just blared the music. But
Yeah.
so we're back. Like I said, it was a heck of a trip. Heck of a trip. And I know that we'll be sharing a lot of cool clips and video and stuff that Nick had already done from the trip. And it was really, really good. And like I said, we got a bunch of good content and a bunch of awesome video and stuff that we'll be sharing. And yeah, it was really fun.
Yeah, it was a good time.
And like I said, a really special thanks to Aaron and Dave and Weldon. They did such a great job.
Yep. And Aaron's parents too.
Oh man, I forgot to talk about them.
Yep.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, the word that comes to mind with them was thoughtful.
Yeah.
They were so thoughtful.
So nice.
Like I mentioned to Aaron's dad like the first day about, wife and kids, and then I'm like, oh yeah, it's youth season in Iowa this weekend or whatever. Like Saturday or Sunday afternoon, he was like, hey, how did the youth hunt go with your boy?
Yeah.
I'm like, I completely kind of forgotten about that. We had had that conversation. I was like, oh, yeah, it actually went pretty good.
Yeah.
I was like showing him pictures, and we were laughing and joking. And yeah, his mom and dad were super cool.
Super nice.
Some of
people.
Aaron's oryx hunts are on a big ranch that his mom and dad have in Texas.
Yes.
And he does oryx hunts in other areas around there too.
Yep.
But yeah, they were super cool. And you could tell that it was a special thing that they got to spend time with Aaron in that way and kind of be a part of his operation and kind of what he's doing. Yep. And they did such a great job on food.
Yeah.
Dude,
Food was
telling
so good.
You, all the weight I lost in Alaska, gained it all back.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. Tons of good food. We had steaks, the ribeyes that first night.
Yep. Pork chops. Just really good, like
with
rice and shrimp,
and sausage thing, and this teriyaki sauce.
Oh my gosh,
dude, that chocolate cake! I forget.
So good.
I'm gonna text. I don't even know if his mom would give it away, but she made this chocolate cake.
It was so good,
and she said that it didn't have eggs in it.
Yeah,
but I'm talking like that chocolate cake was so good. I was licking my plate. I swear,
so
I was like wetting my finger and like trying to get all the extra frosting.
Yeah, it was so good.
It was so good. Something's good, especially on the cake side, when you go to the pan and you're like, how big of a piece can I take without getting made fun of? Like, would it be inappropriate to take like an entire row?
Yeah, at least you would be kind of hidden. It's better than taking a huge square out of the middle.
Oh yeah, dude, I'm telling you. Like when I'm at home with our kids, I just take out the middle. I'm like, hey, guess what? I'm the dad. Buzz off.
Yeah.
But there, I was like, gosh dang, like how much can I take without like getting like bad looks? I was taking huge pieces.
Yeah, it was.
I was adding on like a half inch every time I went back for another piece the next day.
Yeah, it was so good.
The funny thing is nobody caught on to how good the cake was at first, and I wasn't going to say diddly about it.
Oh, I did.
I didn't. I knew it was good.
I think I had the first piece out of it.
I know you did, but after you, then nobody else was eating it.
Yeah.
And I told her, I said, hey, that's good cake.
I wasn't saying a word.
Me neither. I was saying nothing. So I didn't. So I got the first half all to myself, and then all of a sudden, I don't know, somebody else took a piece, they caught on, and then it was gone.
Yeah, it was gone really quick.
I should have asked her to make another one.
Yeah.
I would have put some of that in my carry-on.
Oh, yeah. It was really good.
Dude, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Wasn't not only the chocolate cake, it was the frosting.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez.
It was good.
Gosh, that frosting was good.
But yeah.
Yeah,
then,
getting a little off subject. But hey, listen, Aaron's mom and dad, thank you for the great food.
Yep.
It was really nice to meet you, and the food was delightful.
Yep. Yeah, and we got home early Friday morning, and then
Did a little work.
Yep, came into the office for a little bit.
Did some work.
Just got some things organized.
Did some work.
And then Saturday we were back in the woods with Jet for U season.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, it was a good morning. I mean, beautiful morning. It felt really, really good to just be in a stand again, chasing whitetails, smoothing out some kinks with camera gear and stuff, which it all went really, really good. And I'll tell you what, the whole drive home, I had to go home. It was my nephew Olin's baptism yesterday. So
shout out Oli.
Yep. He's baptized now. Praise Jesus.
Hey, Oli. Shout out Oli.
Roly poly.
Roly poly.
So after the hunt, I went straight home, and the entire time I was thinking, I'm like, man, that just went super, super good for a first hunt. Normally with the camera gear, it takes a little bit just to like get back in the swing of like getting camera arm set up, bring in everything you need, and it just felt really good.
Can I mention the gear that made it better?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what Nick did to his setup that's different from years past.
Mm-hmm.
Usually, when Nick and I hunt together, Nick is saddle standing on. We have some Novik stands that we use. We have a couple different sizes of Novik stands.
Mm-hmm.
So Nick will saddle stand on a Novix. You have had what tethered saddle in the past?
The Phantom XL.
Okay, he's had the Phantom XL in the past, and then so he's standing on a Novix saddle standing with his tethered saddle,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's always a process on the gear, getting it all out of the pack, getting it set up, not dropping it, not breaking it. So one good and bad thing about electronics, like we're talking right now, we've got these Shure SM7B mics. Man, they're awesome.
Yeah.
They're not meant to be traveled with, right? This little cord here, why they haven't figured out a way to like make this some sort of way internal that's not sticking out.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it just doesn't travel well. It gets bent and it breaks. Things break.
Yeah.
So in the past, you've had this black, like
they call it camera cube.
Yeah, camera cube. There you go. Sorry.
Yeah.
This black camera cube, and it works, but it doesn't really work.
Super flimsy.
Yeah, it's like really flimsy, and the zipper's janky, and it's just like always a cluster.
Yeah.
And everything just sinks to the bottom of it. There's no real good way to separate things. It's always just frustrating. So Nick has got his Kuiu 3200 pack that he's running. Loves the pack. It's got a nice hip belt, great shoulder straps, the whole shebang. He's setting that on the Novix seat, trying to get out this camera cube, get his arms set up, get everything set up. We're running a 4th Arrow. I don't know what arm it is. It's like the rectangular, stiffer arm.
I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember it either. But anyway, it's great. Works great. We've had great luck with it.
Mm-hmm.
Ratchet that to the tree real tight, and it works good. And usually run the A7S III on the camera with like the 70-2 or the 28-105 lens. And then we're running usually some sort of GoPro as like a cool second angle where you can see the ozonics really good and everything in the shot. And then you have the A7R4 usually on your chest for other photos or video clips, whatever it might be. So that's kind of in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Well, the big things that made it so much better this year is going away from that camera cube.
Yep.
And Marsupial came out with camera bags.
Yeah, they call it a gear pod.
Yeah, gear pod. They have like a larger size and a smaller size.
Yep.
It's funny, I got the email that day. This is a funny story.
Yeah.
I got this email and instantly I'm like, where we're at right now is Nick's office, the studio. Then on the other side of this is Susie's office. On the other side is my office. So instead of like trying to call Nick or like Teams him, I'll just be like, hey, Susie, holler at Nick. So then Susie's like, Nick, call, watch ya.
Yeah.
So then I can, okay, so instead of just being like, Nick, interrupting everybody. So Nick comes marching in, he gets my door. I'm like, stop right there. I'm like, here's the deal. Enter at your own risk. If you come through that door, I guarantee you're going to spend some money. So just be prepared. And he stood there for a split second, thought about it. I think you actually thought about like, okay, how much money do I have available?
Yeah.
Thought about it, and he walked in. I had the email open. He came around behind me and looked at the screen, and instantly you knew you were on your phone, you were on marsupial.com, and you were putting it in your shopping cart.
Yeah, I bought it that day.
Yeah. And
I seriously did.
For good reason. That thing's awesome.
Well, and the big thing is like this time of year, like before the season, I'm always thinking of like, okay, what can we do to make things easier, a little bit easier? And like
efficiency, right?
And like we had just gotten this camera, so I'm like, gosh,
We had just gotten a Sony A1.
Yeah, and I'm like, we're going to be having 3 cameras in the stand now.
Because we were going to be switching away from we're still going to be using the GoPro angle, but instead of having the A7R4 on your chest, you were going to run the A1.
Yeah.
So now you can do photo video awesome, where the A7R4 was great photo, but not as great a video. So now you're going to have the A7S3 on the camera arm, the A1 here, and then just the A7R4 probably left at the office because you got the A1 to do all of it.
Well, no, the A7R4 is going to be on the stationary camera.
The A7R4 is the stationary kind of second angle.
Static, just like
static
high,
shot.
real wide.
So when we turn to look at the camera, you've just got that one going a little bit wider establishing shot.
Yeah.
And we still have the GoPro. And then you've got the A1 to get it on the other side and the camera on the arm. So we got cameras everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm like,
So you're carrying 3 awesome Sony cameras.
As soon as we got it, I got a ton of anxiety about getting stuff out there. Because, like, even with just having
the Sony A1.
Yes, when I got the Sony A1 too, I was like, when we go out there, it's really hard with the camera cube that we have to even get 2 cameras out there because it's super flimsy, sinks to the bottom.
Yes.
It's wide. It's
No
hard.
dividers.
It's hard to get. It's got dividers in
That
it.
cube only has one zip on the top.
And it has dividers in it.
Yep. Flimsy is all good out.
But they like would fold on each other. It just wasn't the best setup. And it worked fine for 2, but I'm like with 3, I'm like, I got to think of something else. And literally I was thinking about it that day. And all of a sudden,
Stars aligned.
Yeah, stars aligned, and I got it, and it works so good.
Well, and here's the other thing you're not mentioning. What I knew was going to sell you on it, and what I saw, again, we talk about it as Ozonks all the time, features, advantages, benefits. That thing has got all the features, and those features lead to advantages, and those advantages lead to benefits.
Yeah.
And one of the big things was, first off, the rigidity of the walls. You could see that right off the bat.
Really nicely made.
And the big thing is a zippered top.
Yeah.
So you can unzip the top without having to unzip the side, and you can reach into the top.
Yeah.
So what that means is when you have the Marsupial gear pod in your pack, you don't have to unzip the side like you would have had to do with the camera cube. You can just unzip the top of it, reach down and grab what you need and put it up. And then when you want to get to the rest gear, then you can zip the top back up, and then you can pull the rest of that, the Marsupial out, and you can unzip the top and get to what you need.
Well,
and vice versa when you tear it all down, it's the same thing.
Well, and that was the issue with the other one too, is I would just pull it out right away. I wouldn't even try to
there was no way to do it because you were trying, you were putting in there vertically, and it would unzip on the on the sides, and it was all just pouring out.
Yeah.
Well, now you can just unload it from the top zipper, get what you need out, then just bring it out, and then unzip the rest, and then you really can just grab it.
Yeah, exactly.
You can get it from a vertical to horizontal, right? It just sounds real finicky, but it's awesome.
Yeah, it works so good, and it's narrower than the other one.
Yes.
And so it just slips
It's
right
narrow,
into my
it's
backpack.
narrower, but it's deeper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it just slides right into my backpack.
Well, and I honestly, I think I'll just go on the record to say I think you're T-minus weeks away from the smaller version.
Oh, days probably.
I said that when we were in New Mexico, because when I was running camera, I was we have an old camera bag that we've had forever. That's a Low Pro.
Yeah.
Yep. And it works fine just for a single camera.
Single camera works great.
Which Marsupial came out with something very similar to that as well. But they make that gear pod in a larger size and a smaller size. I was running the A7S3 just on a shoulder strap underneath my pack, and then I'd have the other camera, the A7R4, just in that little camera bag. But then you've kind of got batteries and everything kind of stretched out on all these other pockets. Yeah. Whereas if we just had that small gear pod, you could just put everything in that.
All your batteries, chargers.
It's just smaller. You don't need the big one in those situations. You need just one smaller. Well, they thought of that.
Yeah.
So kudos to Marsupial.
Yeah,
we have no affiliation with them. I mean, they just make good gear. Yeah. They really do. And like I said, I really swear by it. I have a Marsupial bino harness that I really like. Everything on their website is really easy to figure out what's right for you, and depending on your bino size, your rangefinder, whatever type of setup you want to do. They've got tons of stuff. And like you said, that Marsupial gear pod is really something.
Yeah, and I really want to get the smaller one just because it's like when you're running more cameras, it just means there's more everything. There's more batteries, there's more battery chargers.
More.
And so it's like, and a lot of times when we go hunt, I'm bringing everything back to my house first.
Yes.
And it can get really, really messy trying to find somewhere to pack all your cords, all your chargers, all your extra batteries that you might not have on that specific hunt.
Yeah, it can be an organizational nightmare.
It sucks.
Because again, to your point, we don't live at the office.
Yeah.
We live at our houses.
Yeah.
But the reality is if we're doing on the weekends, we're doing something in the afternoons, you go out hunting and then you don't end up back here. You end up back at your house. But then it's like, well, I don't want to lose a whole evening of charging.
Yeah.
So then you end up taking everything out, you plug it all in, and then the next day it's like, oh, okay, I got to get to work. Well, now it's easy to just go, okay, no, you could just forget something, you forget a charger. Well, then all of a sudden you don't have chargers here.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, just like Ozonics carry bag.
Yeah.
The carry bag is as much about some place that you can just put everything that's in the right spot.
Yeah.
So you know where it is.
Yeah, exactly.
I think those gear pods, they do a great job. And like you said, I like the dividers. I like everything about it.
It's just very well made.
Yeah. Yep. No, it's a really cool thing.
But then
check it out.
But then I also got a tethered ultra lock saddle.
That's what I wanted to mention too.
And it comes built with side pockets on it that are really big, but they zip really nice and easy just with your finger.
Mm-hmm.
And so that made setting up way easier because just right away I didn't put any mounting systems. I didn't put the Ozonics mounting system in my pack. I always bring an extra tree screw just to hang random stuff off of. There's a screw for our extended GoPro mount. There's a tree step that I hang my bag on. And normally I get up in the stand and I have to take my bag off right away to go and dig all that stuff out.
Yep.
But now I had it all on my sides pockets. So before I even took my pack off, I had everything ready to go. I could just hang the bag, grab the Ozonics. It went so smooth. And
like I said, that tethered Phantom you've had great luck with.
Yeah, it's a great saddle.
This new saddle, and like I said, having those bags on the side, those zippered pockets, just to be able to just have it right there at your fingertips and just unzip it and set it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty handy.
Yeah. It's so yeah, I'm just so excited to keep going this fall just because, like I said before, it can be kind of stressful, like trying to get back into it and like making sure you have everything, you have it set up the right way, and it's just like
we made some changes. Like I said, from the A1, the Sony A1 II is a big upgrade in that regard. That saddle is a big upgrade. The Marsupial Camera Cube the gear pod is a big upgrade. That's huge, and like I said, it's going to make a big difference.
Yeah, I'm stoked.
Well, like I said, it just makes everything, and it's funny because, like on Saturday, it's like, okay, what time does it get sun? Okay, it's sunrise is 7:07. That means shooting light 6:30. That means, seriously, I want to be out there an hour before, like just sitting in the dark, just waiting.
Yeah.
Okay, well, if we want to be out there set up by 5:30, what time do we need to walk away from the truck? It's a 15-minute walk. Okay, by 5:15, got to be walking in by 5. It's an hour drive. It's 4. I got to get up at 3:15. Like that's how it works.
Yeah.
And it sounds so silly to kind of walk it back like that, but when you get out there and it's 5 in the morning, 5:30 in the morning, and it's dark and it's cold and it's wet and everything else, your hands are cold and things are going on, and then all of a sudden you feel that light start to kind of, you look to the sunrise and it starts to creep, and you're like, gosh dang, now you're in a hurry.
You start moving fast. You
Yeah,
start
there you
sweating.
go.
You start
And then-
making
and
dumbest decisions.
You're working with expensive gear that you don't want to drop.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, all these little movements, it adds up. It adds up to moving the stands, and it's adds up to noise in the stand. It adds up to, we go out and don't see deer, you know what I mean, or whatever, right? Because it's like all of a sudden that's what happens to everybody. Oh, well, I didn't mean to clank or tank or ting this thing, but I did. So I think it's just really going to create a lot more efficiency within our setups.
Yeah, definitely.
I'll tell you what, though. So we went out on Saturday with Jet, and we sat in the woods and spot that we've got cameras, and there's like a really we have noticed it, like even in town, you can just see acorns everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, there are a lot of acorns out there.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of rain. There's a lot of acorns. When we walked in, you could see acorns on the way in.
Yeah.
So we definitely had a bumper crop, right?
For sure.
And so it's like, okay, let's try to get in the woods. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We've got corn in the bottom. It makes it a little trickier for the bottom right now, but we've got a spot that's in the woods that feels like they'd be moving through, and just didn't see anything on Saturday.
Yeah.
I'll tell you the one thing I was really surprised coming back from New Mexico, and we talked about this on the way back, I thought that we were definitely going to see a huge change in the fields, which you definitely have. There are a lot of beans that are ready.
Yeah.
Interestingly, though, I talked to a guy that actually this morning said that they harvested did some fields on Saturday and Sunday, and they said they did 2 fields that the beans were perfect yellow and good to go, and they did some other fields where they got it right into it and they were green yet. They looked ready, but they were green.
Okay.
And so I think, I kind of noticed that you saw a lot of guys out there on Saturday, but not as many guys out there on Sunday. So it feels like we need a little bit of time yet.
Yeah, for
in
sure.
northern Iowa anyway.
It's close though, man.
It's very, very close.
Yep.
Not like we're not talking weeks away, but
No.
it's a little bit of a delay.
Yeah.
And so the fields are looking really good,
Mm-hmm.
but surprisingly, I thought the leaves were going to be farther along, but the leaves are green.
Very
Everything
green,
is
yeah.
green.
Yep.
Green. There's not really much change in it yet.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it just feels like it's coming, but it's not quite here yet.
Mm-hmm.
But I took Jet out on Sunday, and you talk about just rearing to go. Got out there, got all set up, ready to rock, and we're looking around, and Jet actually saw the deer first, and man, he came unglued. And I came unglued too. We had to kind of both, and I kind of just stopped. I'm like, hey, dude, we need to check ourselves here. Like, kind of the first deer of the year.
Yeah.
You know, and it was that adrenaline rush. I'm like, oh man, here we go.
Yeah.
And I told you, I'm like, we got the gun all set up, and I actually set the gun down, and I looked at him. I said, hey, buddy, we need to calm down.
Mm-hmm.
The deer was at like 75, 80 yards, 60, 70 yards. It's like, we need to calm down. Like, we're both way too excited.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We need to calm down. We need to think about what we're doing. Because when you get excited like this, if you don't stay in control, that's how things go wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was a good moment kind of for him and I, and got the gun all set back up. And you could tell he was way more, okay, all right, put my hand on the top of the scope, get my hand against the gun without my finger on the trigger, all these little things that I kind of show him to do. And he was a lot more ready to rock.
Yeah.
That deer never gave us a shot. It actually bedded down right in front of us at like from like 8:30 on.
Yeah.
Stood up once, shadows moved enough where it was out in the sun again. It stood up, moved in the shadow again, laid back down, and then stood up again, and then kind of just mollygagged. We sat out there till 11:30. I thought maybe it was going to give us a shot where it was just going to make just a little bit of a mistake and come just into view, but it never did.
Right.
But yeah, it was really good to be out there. Winds were kind of tricky this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was like not calm, but not windy. So it was a lot of kind of the wind. We kind of had a bit of a prevailing west wind on Saturday, but then the wind would slow down and then the thermal would try to take over.
Yeah.
And it just kind of was doing a lot of swirling. And then on Sunday, we had more of like a southeast wind at like 3 miles an hour, 4 miles an hour, but then that would calm. And then the thermal would really hit, which was coming from west to east, and it would kind of push it down. And it was really, you know, it's funny. Jet actually says, Dad, I can smell the ozonics, you know. I'm like, well, that's a good indicator the wind is switched. We were really repositioning a lot on Sunday.
Right.
Saturday, it felt more prevailing. Like we didn't have it switch as bad. It did a couple times.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was that made it a little tricky.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and then the other big thing to talk about, today's Monday.
Yep.
Guess what's there's a couple big things. Today's Monday. Tomorrow's my birthday.
Yeah.
Wednesday's opening day.
Yep.
I always joke about that. I feel like I have the best birthday because it's the day before hunting season.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, October 1st is Wednesday, and we're getting after it.
Yep, it's gonna be awesome.
It's
man.
Operation Deer Season.
Yep.
We do it again on this podcast. We're going up and picking up some antlerless tags right after this.
Yep.
Gotta go talk to a landowner and he's got antlerless tags, and we will be ready to rock.
Yep, it's gonna be awesome.
It's gonna be brown, it's down.
Yep.
Antlerless deer, here we come.
Yep.
And then World Traveler, if you're still out there, you better be ready because we're honing in on you.
Yep.
Or what do you call that big buck with the big brows?
Brutus.
Brutus. You better not show up on a red moon again, because if you do, guess what we're going to be? We're going to be there, and we're going to be waiting for you.
He's now missed 2 red moons in a row.
I know,
so
our whole strategy, hey, sometimes you just, sometimes you got to throw stuff on the wall and see what sticks, okay?
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, they're not all winners, okay? They're not all winners.
Yep.
But yeah, so for the men and women that are out there getting ready to get out there and do some deer hunting, some guys are already really into it.
Yep.
Oh, hey, another thing. Special congratulations to Jason Mears. Did you see the deer that he killed?
I did, yes. Great
Jeez,
buck.
Pete, look at that guy.
He's on fire.
Yeah.
And
having a pretty good couple years here.
Yeah. And special congratulations to my cousin Charlie. He shot a first buck with a bow.
Yes, he did.
Great buck.
Was that right before we went to New Mexico?
Yeah, the Sunday before we left.
There you go. That was
really, really sad because I really, really wanted to go home, but I'm like, I just can't.
Yeah.
I just can't. I can't do it.
That was a heck of a deer.
Yeah, really nice buck.
Yep.
So
congratulations.
Yep. Stuff's hitting the ground, boys.
But yeah, if you're getting ready to get out there here in Iowa, it's about ready to start.
Mm-hmm.
And everything's going to like I said, you had been talking about too. It looks, and from what we're seeing on Instagram, there's been some good bucks that have hit the ground during youth season in Iowa.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yep. Looks good.
Yep. It's right around the corner now.
Knocking on the doorstep.
Time to go.
Yep.
It's time to start revving the old rut engine. Rut rum. Rut rum.
Yep.
It's going to get going.
Yep.
That's what's going to happen. It's going to be awesome.
Yep.
Rut's right around the corner.
Yep.
All right. That's it for today. Ozonics Killerwinds podcast. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Stay tuned next week. Stay classy. Stay tuned. See you next week. Stay classy.